Hey everybody, this is D Hunter for another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Killer Croc. This is the one for the video game Arkham Asylum. He also made a small cameo in Arkham City. This is the gold label, Amazon exclusive, glow-in-the-dark edition. The thing was delayed and delayed and delayed, but it's finally here. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, Gold Label Collection. A Gold Label figure is simply a retailer exclusive, whether it be Target or Walmart. This is an Amazon exclusive. DC, Batman, Arkham Asylum, Killer Croc, Batman, Arkham Asylum, Glow-in-the-Dark Edition, McFarlane Toys, limited to 5,400 pieces. Large mega figure packaging. One side, Killer Croc, Arkham. Other side is blank. At the back, here's Croc posed up from the game. And at the bottom, there's the barcode, if that helps. This is a McFarlane Deluxe Mega Figure. Remove the outer sleeve. Okay, snagged on something. There we go. And here is the figure. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And of course, I did get two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman and related unopened action figure collection. And here's this glow-in-the-dark Amazon exclusive next to the original Arkham Asylum Killer Croc release. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. It's kind of a joke as he comes with absolutely no accessories. Display stand, collector's card, and display stand for the collector's card, but no actual accessories specific to Croc. And to tell you the truth, he doesn't really use anything in the game. Croc's real name is Waylon Jones. He's originally a human with a skin condition, and he had sort of a hard, nasty exterior, kind of resembled a crocodile, and became Killer Croc. Over the years, he's become more and more lizard-like, and bigger and bigger and bigger. In Arkham Asylum, it was really quite something special when you first saw him, and he came out of the elevator, and he was enormous, and telling you how he's going to eat you, and he has your scent, all this stuff. This is that version, and he's not as big as he should be according to the game, but still a pretty big figure, pretty cool, and he can sort of fit in for your comic Killer Croc. Hopefully McFarlane will make one of those in the future. In the meantime, let's take a look. So, start with this head here, which I'd say is a fantastic sculpt. Paint job is good, but it's not great. The teeth could be a little better. At least they're painted differently here. I really wonder what that's going to look like when you do glow in the dark. A lot of different colors of green. Really dark green, kind of medium green, light green. The sculpt is absolutely fantastic. And this paint job strikes me as a little bit better than the other one, but we'll check that out later in the video. Look at that. Excellent sculpt, all the scales. Then we have his prison pants. Orange pants, a little rope around them. They are textured. Nice detail there. Single jointed elbow. Double jointed knees. He's barefoot. Some shackles around his ankles and around his neck. So, he looks great. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. You can see the teeth have that sort of yellow, off-white color. That was my biggest complaint about the original release. I think the teeth are the same color as skin, and it just didn't look that good. Still, I'd say sculpt is fantastic in the paint job. Better than last time, at least from what I can recall. Now for his accessories. Starting off with the boring stuff, although it's really all boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane display stand we've seen a million times before. The only difference is this one has a sort of neon green DC at the bottom because it's part of the glow-in-the-dark collection. And then we have his collector's card. As you can see, Killer Croc from Arkham Asylum. Killer Croc, glow-in-the-dark edition. On the back, a certificate of authenticity. This is number 3,982 out of 5,400. And it doesn't do much for me, but if you want to display your collector's card next to your figure, you have a stand to do so. I'm sure it glows in the dark right here as well. And so speaking of his glow-in-the-dark features, I took this blacklight flashlight I have, gonna charge him up. You can really see it in his eyes right there, it looks pretty cool. You can't see it too much. Here he's in a fully lit room with glow-in-the-dark features. And then here he is in a semi-lit room with his glow-in-the-dark feature. And here, in a completely dark room. Just sort of coated all over his torso and arms. Now to check out this new glow-in-the-dark Killer Croc next to the original version. This is the new one. This is the old one. It's 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation, but different paint job. This one has glow-in-the-dark paint, and the paint job looks so much better. First, I'll look at his head. This one's just so bland. The whole thing is like one shade of green, very little detail. This one has, lighter at the front, darker on the sides. The head, very dark. I complained about his teeth. It's like the same color as his skin. It just looks like it could be so much better. This one, at least it's a little bit different. The entire body's the same way. The paint job is just superior on the glow-in-the-dark guy. Maybe that's just a little bonus from the glow-in-the-dark paint, but I think it's more than that. They actually tried to improve at least a little bit. The pants seem to be exactly the same. A little bit darker at the bottom. Still, I can totally tell the difference. Anyone think this guy looks better? Let me know. Now that they've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his lack of accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 9.2 inches tall, which can translate to just over 23 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, it can rotate side to side. You can look up and down about that far. It's a ball joint there. It's got a lot of give to it. I really wish it had an articulated jaw. The DC Direct version had one, and it was fantastic. That would really elevate this figure. You can really... Most of what you can do with the head is just rotate around, but up and down about that much. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up about 90 degrees. Up, down, around. He's got a single joint to the elbow, 90 degree rotation, 90 degree bend, wrist, rotate, and it's hinged. Torso, he has a ball joint, rotate around, forward and back the tiniest little bit. Another one is waist, rotate around, forward and back between the two. Good range of motion, you get more out of the waist of the torso on him. Legs completely does the splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation's very good on him. They go forward about that far. Back not much. Double jointed knees. And they go all the way back. And his ankle forward and back just a tiny bit. Rotate. Forward tilt rock. And tortillation. Toes extremely loose on him. Here's an image of Killer Croc being escorted through the hallways of Arkham Asylum. He's under heavy guard. And just a top view of the guards escorting Killer Croc to maximum security until Killer Croc comes across Batman and Joker being escorted with the guards. This is like the beginning of the game. Killer Croc says, "I've got your scent, Batman." And the Joker says something along the lines of, "Oh, that reminds me. I really need to get me some new shoes." Batman doesn't encounter Killer Croc until much later in the game. At this point, he's deep in Arkham Asylum in the sewers. He has to crouch along these pathways to avoid Killer Croc hearing him. If he goes too fast, Killer Croc comes up. Killer Croc will come up. You have to throw a batarang and knock him off. At the end of that stage, Batman laid down some explosive gel, set a trap for Killer Croc, and sent him deep into the abyss under the asylum. He's not seen until Arkham City, and briefly. And here's a closer look at Croc in the sewers, glowing in the dark. That looks awesome. Now let's check them out. Next is some of their action figures. Starting off with some of their Killer Croc figures. Here's the new Amazon glow-in-the-dark Killer Croc on the left, next to the original version on the right. I'd say the new one is better pretty much every way, shape, and form. It's really just the paint job, but it makes a big difference. McFarlane also released a Killer Croc with the re-release of DC Direct's The New Batman Adventures version. And then here he is, next to the DC Direct version of the Arkham Asylum Killer Croc. I think the DC Direct one looks better. I think it's a fantastic sculpt, it's a better paint job. I love the teeth, the articulated jaw, the face, the fact that it has real chains, the paint detail. Now, it's very poorly articulated and it's very fragile. Mine is broken in at least 2 places and glued together. I even bought another one back in the day and it broke in a couple places too. And I was even super careful. Even if it didn't break, the articulation is very limited. So, I'd say the DC Direct one makes a better display piece. It looks better, but the McFarlane one makes a better action figure. Too bad we don't have a blend of the two. Here he is, next to Mattel's Arkham Asylum Killer Croc. This is actually intended for a much smaller scale of figures, 3.75-inch scale figures. Then, next to a DC Direct Arkham Origins Killer Croc. Arkham Origins takes place before Arkham Asylum, so you look like this, and several years later, like this. He has a look in Arkham Knight as well, and that's completely different. They were doing genetic modifications on him, and he looks much more like a lizard, and he's much bigger. Here are all of my DC Direct and DC Collectibles Killer Croc figures. Then, next to all of my Mattel Killer Croc figures. And now, with an older Kenner Killer Croc. Here's this Croc, next to a couple of Fury Planet Wilderness Hunter Croc figures. I got these guys to add to my Killer Croc collection. They look pretty similar to how Croc looked in the Hush storyline. And here he is, next to the Lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man. I bought this guy to put on my Killer Croc shelf. He looks like a cross between a man and a lizard, which is exactly what he is in The Amazing Spider-Man and in Batman. Then, next to a NECA Ninja Turtles animated Leatherhead. Now, it's kind of ridiculous to put on my Killer Croc collection, but I really bought the pack because I wanted Slash to be with my turtle collection, and so I have this Killer Croc guy here. Why not? And now, next to a Mattel Wrestling Monster crossover Bray Wyatt figure. This is Bray Wyatt crossover with a crocodile. And, makes sense in the Killer Croc collection, although I've never seen Killer Croc with a beard and long hair. And finally, next to a bunch of actual crocodiles that I keep in my Killer Croc shelf, here's a look at every single Killer Croc figure and sort of substitute that I have. This is my Killer Croc collection. I believe I have all of them in the 6 and 7-inch scale. If there's any I'm missing, please let me know. Here's a look at the entire Glow in the Dark collection. These are all gold label figures, and they're all Amazon exclusives. It started with Jon Stewart. The most recent one, before Croc, was the Batman Beyond Future's End Joker Robot, and the next one coming out is the Joker Dragon. That one should already be out, but it's delayed as of right now. These are the only other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures that I can think of that are also Glow in the Dark, and are not part of the gold label Glow in the Dark subline. We have the Platinum Chase variant of Alan Scott, and then the Entertainment Earth exclusive digitized Batman Beyond. Here's McFarlane's entire Arkham Asylum collection. They've really only done 3 characters, Batman, Croc, and the Joker, and tons of variations. I'd love to see them finish out the collection, give some Poison Ivy, Mr. Zsasz, Scarecrow, and here he is, next to McFarlane's entire Arkham City collection. They've made more characters in Arkham City, and there are still many more they could do. We have Grundy, Ra's al Ghul, Catwoman, Penguin, Batman, the Riddler, and the Joker. The next thing to come out from Arkham City is an Amazon exclusive 2-pack. It's Detective Mode or X-Ray Vision, Batman vs. Solomon Grundy. Then, next to the only figure they made from Arkham Origins, which was Deathstroke. And finally, here's McFarlane's entire Arkham Knight collection. They've really only done 3 characters, Batman, Jason Todd, and the Scarecrow. They didn't do any figures from Suicide Squad Coastal Justice League, which really surprises me. I figured for sure we were at least going to get the 4 main characters, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark. I know the game didn't do well, but would have been some pretty cool figures. Now let's check him out. Next to some other recent release McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the most recent Target exclusive gold label figures, Sinestro, Parallax Armor, and Commander Steel. Here's Killer Croc, next to the previous Jokerized Wave, Hush, Harley Quinn, and the Last Night on Earth Batman. And here he is, next to most recent Page Puncher Wave, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Rebirth Deathstroke, and the Damian Wayne Robin. Then, with the most recent Platinum Wave, the Question, Shining Knight, and Effigy. And now, with the Dawn of the DC Red Hood, and the Rebirth Cyborg. Here's Killer Croc, next to the Michael Go Alfred that came with the Batman Forever Batmobile, the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Jonah Hex, and the GameStop exclusive Frostbite Deathstroke. And here he is, next to the 7th wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Dark Knight Returns Batman, Huntress, and Green Lantern Corps members, Ivan Sewer, Toma Ray, Arcus Chumlock, and the Green Man. Then, next to the Batman Forever wave, collected build of Nightmare Bat. And now, with the previous Platinum wave, Batman Begins Lucius Fox, Flash movie Batfleck, Hugo Strange's Batman, and Bullseye Batman. And finally, next to the most recent Batman wave, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Batman Reborn Dick Grayson Batman, the Adam West Batman, and the world's finest fusion Batman Superman. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale, and even though this guy's over 9 inches tall, he's still a 7-inch scale figure. He's just a very large creature. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here's Killer Croc, next to a donut. I believe this type is called a Cruiler. And here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures, and now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a cool Killer Croc figure. I think the sculpt is fantastic. The paint job is superior to the previous one. The glow-in-the-dark features are fantastic. Here are the negative things. Well, he's not as tall as he should be, if you're looking at accuracy in the game. But personally, I'm kind of okay with that because it makes for a more sort of standard Killer Croc figure you can fit to your collection with your comic figures, movie figures, whatever. His accessories are non-existent. Articulation, I'd say it's pretty good. If I were to rate this figure, I don't know what I give the other one. I almost want to give him an 8 out of 10. It's a very nice figure, and they have definitely improved the paint job. I really don't see why I shouldn't give an 8 out of 10, because I feel pretty good about it. I like the figure, I like it a lot. I like the design, although I really want them to do a comic Killer Croc figure. I'd love a classic version. I would love a Hush version. Bring it on, McFarlane. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.